Hello, my name is Luby, and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo and the Hanako route. We are on Act 3 of our route, and let's just continue it. Hanako is more noticeable in her absence than when she's in the room. I feel her empty desk calling out for me. I find myself peering over my shoulder endlessly, hoping that I'm hallucinating and that Hanako will magically appear. She makes sure she's as small a presence as possible when she attends class, and although she had been getting better recently, that fact never changed. Nobody ever pays her any heed in class, and now that she's not here, they don't notice her absence. It's as if she just never existed. Lily did say that her skipping class was an unusual thing before I met her, but it's still very off-putting. The bells heralding the end of school make me jump in my seat. It's only now that I notice Misha is prodding me in the side with her mechanical pencil to get my attention.
Hello? Is anybody in there?
Hey, stop that.
Ah, there we are. Welcome back to Earth, Hee-chan.
What are you talking about?
You keep on dazing off into space. I was thinking you might be trying to contact alien life.
Also, I said that like contact. But you know what? That's just how she would say it. I really didn't get much sleep last night, so I don't doubt Misha's words. I'm not sure whether it was due to my medicine's side effects, Hanako's panic attack yesterday, or me worrying about her in general, or all three. I yawned tiredly before resting my chin in my palm, having been reminded me of how badly I slept.
Hey, are you really alright? Yesterday kind of rattled me as well.
Yeah, I guess. I wanted to speak to Hanako again, though.
Did you see her last night?
Yeah, Lily and I talked to her. This may sound a bit weird, but can you tell Shizune thank you for both me and Lily? I know Lily technically didn't thank Shizune, but I could tell by her reaction last night that she wanted to. At least that's how it works out in my head. ...
I think what Shishan is trying to say is, you're welcome?
The furious signing in Chizune's reddened cheeks tell me that what she said was entirely different. Her blatantly flustered expression is amusing enough to make me chuckle.
What's so funny, Hee-chan? Was it something we said?
No, that's not it. I was simply thinking about how cute Shizune can be at times. That is... Hisao, this is not Shizune's route. This is not Lily's route. We are on Hanako's route. Just pick someone and stay there. Calm down. I think I've had to say this too many times.
What? You're right. She's really cute when she tries not to be.
I notice that Misha decides not to sign a response to Shizune. Maybe Shizune's rage is enough of a counter to any quantity of cute. Nevertheless, Shizune quickly calms down and signs something else to Misha. ...
Oh, okay, Hee-chan. Shishan wants you to come out dinner with us.
Dinner, huh? Turning away from them a bit, lest I be swayed by their pleading smiles, I begin to mull it over. The invitation certainly is tempting. A takeaway dinner with two cute girls is not a bad thing after all. This same thing was said in Shizune's route, I'm pretty sure. The thought of Hanako locked up in her room, though, keeps dancing on the edge of my mind. Sorry, I'll have to pass. This is not your guys' route. Let's go as out.
Aww.
Misha doesn't sign my response, but Shizune picks up on it easily enough and grimaces in disappointment. She moves her arms, assumedly beginning some form of either protest or coercion, but stops herself and taps Misha's shoulder twice. Once Misha gives Shizune her attention, the only statement Shizune has on the matter is a shrug.
Oh, well, it's your choice, Hee-chan.
I promise I'll join you two another time if that helps, so you guys can try to coerce me into the student council. Misha perks up at this, but Shizune doesn't share her reaction. With a flick of the head to signal for Misha to follow her away, Shizune simply raises her hand to silently wave me goodbye. As the two make their way out of the door, I return the gesture until they're out of sight. I didn't think they would be so disappointed, and it makes me feel a little bad for ditching them. Still, I got things to do. Very noble of you. The girls' dormitory is especially rowdy today, with a number of girls loudly playing games and watching the television in the common room on the first floor. I can hear their voices even now, standing in front of Hanako's door. Is this on the first floor or second floor? It's an odd contrast to the emptiness of the floor she's on. The voices from below, yes, below, so this is a higher floor, make the emptiness feel all the more lonely. I had hopes Hanako would be in class today, especially after the talk Lillian had with her last night, but I feel like I shouldn't hold it against her. It was a pretty awful episode, and to have experienced it firsthand must be all the worse. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Give her some space, man. Give some space and time. Not knowing what state she's in, I take a small breath before giving a few sharp knocks on her brown door. Well, I mean, Yeah, I'm sure all the doors are brown. I don't think you had to say that. All I can do is stand and wait, doing my best not to feel anxious. As the seconds wear on, I begin to think she might be asleep and didn't hear me knocking. The door handle rattles a little before I can raise my hand to knock again, though. Peek. The door opens a sliver, an eye appearing in the gap, only just large enough for it to peer through. I'm sure this girl would install a peephole in her dormitory door if only such a thing was allowed. I just stand and smile at her. I don't think words would really help here after all. The actors return in kind, with Hanako wordlessly looking at me. The gap's not wide enough to see her expression, and I can only guess what she's thinking. Time passes as we look at each other, the only sound being the disembodied gaiety from the ground floor. I'm not sure how long it takes, but eventually the eye moves away. I keep wondering whether she'll let me in or shut me out until the door slowly begins to creak open. Okay, there we go. I was waiting for some music to kick in. It was deadly silent. Now that I have a full view of her in her bedroom behind, the first thing I notice is that Hanako's hair is damp. She's recently showered, which is made even more obvious by the scent of shampoo wafting towards me. That's some strong shampoo. The look on her face seems one of curiosity, as if she's not really sure what to make of me. Even so, I'm not really all that sure of what she's thinking. It feels as if she's gone away for a long time, and having now returned, neither of us knows what to say to the other. Hanako realizes she's staring, looking away awkwardly before turning to the side and gazing at her feet. I decide to take it as an invitation and step past her into the room, closing the door behind me as I do so. I can see her hands fiddling in the folds of the oversized gown that hangs from her shoulders. I try to concentrate on what I want to say, but the scent from her addles my senses. Again, that's some strong shampoo. To my surprise, it's not me, but Hanako that breaks the silence.
Why?
Because, why did I come here? I was worried about Hanako, so I came to her room. She let me in as I had hoped, and then, what? What did I mean to do? What did I mean to say? Why didn't I think this through before coming here? I want to make up for what I feel I caused, at least partly. I want to try and remove the distance I feel between us since then and to see her happy. How can I do that when I don't know the first thing about her? I wonder if this is how Iwanako felt when she saw me lying in that sterile pastel blue hospital bed. A deep sigh steadies my nerves a little and ends my stammering. I don't think I ever felt this nervous around someone before. When I'm like this, I don't think I can lie. Even if I could bring myself to, Hanako would see through it right away. I don't know, I just wanted to see you, I guess. Her fingers stop moving, giving me a little surprise. Looking up to her face, she gives a sweet smile and a nod. That was a satisfactory answer for her? Question mark.
Since you're here, I'd like to play a game of chess with you.
I almost hang my head in disbelief that all she wants to do after I've been winding myself up so much is play a game. Looking at her face, though, a tentative smile perched upon it, I realize this is more than that. She could have not bothered answering the door. She could have shut it as soon as she saw my face. She could have asked me to leave. She could have rejected me at many points, but she didn't. Now with this calm face, she wants me to play the same game that we played when we first really spent time alone together. A feeling of relief washes over me. Everything will be alright. Hanako has let me into her world. As long as we can be together like this, I think everything will be alright. It would be my pleasure. A short little episode. I'm not sure what I should call these, like between every, Katawa Shoujo transition. Like, episode, chapter. Yeah, chapter, maybe? The day of Hanako's birthday party is finally here. To be honest, I'm looking forward to seeing Hanako. Okay, man, Kisao, at least this is related to Hanako, but calm down, man. Seeing Hanako and Lily in their pajamas again. Hanako's gown has grown on me, is looking rather cute, though a bit conservative, and loose shorts and thin silken top are a lovely combination. Again, Hisao, calm down. But the event is stained a little with the memory of Hanako's reaction to it. I still don't really understand what happened, only being able to vaguely guess the possible reasons for it, but I don't think finding the answer will be as straightforward as asking her. With that in mind, I knock on the door next to Hanako's. Is that you, Hisao? Yeah, it's me. I can hear the pitter-patter of footsteps coming to the door, followed by the sound of the lock snapping open. I don't think I've ever seen Lily's door locked before, and it makes me a little suspicious. Once the door opens, the sight is a little underwhelming for a birthday party. It's the exact same CG. Are we still gonna do karaoke? Hanako returns to her seat at the table with a quick smile and a nod, leaving me to close and, assuming they wanted to keep me kept that way, lock the door. As I do so, I realize the scene before me is that of an evening tea party, just like any other between the two. Somehow, I don't think I should be surprised. To my relief, Hanako looks relatively calm. The break from class has probably done her good and giving her time to wind down a bit. I take a seat between the two at the low table in the center of Lily's room, the brightly colored teapot steaming away between us. A tall brown bag close by Lily's side catches my attention. I covertly try to glance inside it a couple times, but can't get a good look from here. Looking to Hanako, it seems like she's as curious about it as I am. Hey, Lily? Lily finishes off the teacup, raised to her lips before setting it down and giving me her attention. Yes? I was just wondering about that brown bag. She pauses for a moment and gives a slightly cheeky smile. That would be Akira's present. Unfortunately, she said she was working and can't join us. Lily leans over and feels out the item inside before raising her arm. I raise an eyebrow as 2 items, not 1, rise from the bag. The glass necks are grasped by Lily on either side of her middle finger. So this is why she had her door locked. Wine. There are 2 small thuds as the bottles are brought to rest on the table. 1 red, 1 white. I want to believe that it's fake, non-alcoholic wine, but if it was, there wouldn't be any need to be this circumspect. Alcohol? Seriously? Are you sure this is a good idea? Wow, these kids are such delinquents. Lily smiles politely and giggles. I'm not really convinced that she is. Well, if it's gonna be alcohol, at least it's wine. It's not as strong. These would be the present from my sister. I know it's a bit questionable, but a little shouldn't hurt. If Lily took serious issue with it, I don't think she'd have agreed quite so easily. That aside, I had Akira squared as a serious and responsible type. Maybe like an older Lily, but it looks like I was wrong. We aren't even legally able to drink yet. Well, in that case, I won't complain. They don't look bad either. I'm no connoisseur, but at least the bottles look nice. Apart from a surreptitious glass of wine or 2 given for my father at family dinners, I haven't really had enough to know what's what. That, and I can't really say that I'm a total straight edge. Going by Hanako's expression, she's thinking the same, and it's her birthday anyway. Shall I open one? Sure, I'll get some. My heart skips as I hear 3 sharp bangs coming from Lily's door. Hanako's head flicks around and Lily's eyes close as she listens intently. None of us want to be busted for this. Who is it? It's Akira, probably, yeah? Let me in, I'm cold! Lily lets out a resigned sigh before motioning for Hanako to open the door. She obediently gets up and fusses with her gown before moving, apparently still not quite sure of who it is, but trusting enough in Lily to do as she requests. I can just see a blonde, dark-suited figure become visible over Hanako's shoulder as she opens the door. Hey, happy birthday, Hanako! Thank you, Akira. Hanako gives a small bow while twiddling her fingers in front of her. So, this is Lily's elusive sister. And this is the first time Asao's seeing her in this route. Akira follows Hanako to the table after shutting the door behind her, giving me plenty of time to have a good look at her. She looks to be about the same height as Hanako, and has short blonde hair that's quite roughly cut. That, in addition to a rather modish, brash, masculine suit and deep voice, gives her quite an androgynous effect. It's very cool. Without further ado, she plops herself down on the side of the table across from me. It's nice to have your company after all, Akira. Did work let you off? Yep, I have to go back there in a bit. I managed to get enough of a break to drive down. So, this would be Asao then. A confident smile gets thrown in my direction, so I nod politely in return. Considering she just jumped straight to using my first name, she's much more informal than her appearance would suggest. Wait, if she already knows who I am, that must mean that Lily's talked about me with her. I wonder what she said. Sorry for not introducing you, Asao. This is Akira Sato, my eldest sister. I see. Nice to meet you. The person in question loudly claps her hands together, making Hanako jump a little bit. Hope that was loud enough. Akira notices this and looks uneasy for a fraction of a second before getting back into her stride. Only now do I realize that Akira hasn't paid Hanako's scars any undue attention. Hanako also seems to be comfortable, if not exactly relaxed, around Akira. Well then, I assume the presents got through. No point in waiting, considering Asao and the birthday girl look like they're pretty eager. Lily giggles as I awkwardly turn away, a little embarrassed with the fact that I couldn't hide my interest. Hanako's eyes will tell me that she wants to try the wine together with me, though, so I settle for a look of badly feigned indifference. Akira manages to uncork the first bottle with small effort, and Hanako goes to get some glasses before I get to pour the four of them full of white wine. I heard somewhere that white wine has less alcohol than red wine, so I think it would be best to start with. Here's to Hanako and to Lily's trip.
Cheers. Cheers. Cheers.
After the traditional raising of the glasses, we all take sips of the pale yellow liquid. It's nothing like the stuff I had with my parents, with the fruitiness of the flavor almost entirely hiding the taste of alcohol. Maybe this is what proper wine is supposed to taste like. Then again, it's possible that Akira just chose a wine which would be suited to our tastes, since none of us are used to alcohol yet. Or at least I hope none of us are. This isn't too bad. I was expecting something harsher.
If you hadn't liked it, I had a few other varieties you could have chosen from.
You sound like you know your stuff when it comes to wines.
Only a bit. I'm more of a beer kind of person. I have the drinking side down pat, though.
As if to prove her point, she refills her glass while bringing it to her lips and flicking her head back. Shots, 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 shots. Hanako and I silently watch as the whole glassful disappears down Akira's throat. I can't decide whether to be impressed or put off, but I certainly don't have any urge to imitate the act. Lily grimaces slightly at her sister's boast. I note that she is sipping from her glass as she does so, though.
Anyway, now that Akira's gift has been opened and sampled, shall we move on to ours? Gifts? That's right, we got you presents. It's your birthday, after all. This is from me.
Lily pulls out the carefully wrapped doll from under the table and passes it to Hanako. Hanako handles the present as if it were glassware, carefully turning it over to remove the tape that binds the wrapping. Eventually, the paper falls from the doll, revealing the emerald green of the doll's dress.
It's beautiful.
I'm not sure what reaction I was expecting from Hanako. The near total lack of dolls in her room made me think that she didn't care about them, but the look in her eyes now is something different. She turns the doll around with the same delicacy she afforded the wrapping, as if she was expecting it to fall apart in her hands.
I'm glad that you like it. Hisao picked it out, to be honest.
Hanako suddenly remembers that she's not alone in the room and shifts her focus from the doll.
Yes, I like it. Thank you, Lily and Hisao.
Actually, I got you something else. I reach into my bag and remove the wrapped chess set. Here. Happy birthday. Hanako carefully sits Lily's doll next to her and opens my present with the same care that she showed Lily's. Just want to say that I really like this song. Something I really like is in the pause menu, you can see what it's called down here. Current music track, Aria de Ietoye? I don't know, I can't read that. Before long, the checkered squares of the chessboard are visible, and Hanako gently runs her fingers across the carved surfaces.
Oh!
Almost by accident, she triggers the catch of the lid, startling herself in the process. She opens it and retrieves one of the gray pieces. She seems as absorbed in the chess pieces as she was in the doll before. They're coral. Natural coral, undyed, or so I'm told.
Thank you, Hisao.
No problem, it's your birthday after all.
That's right, my birthday.
Once again, Hanako's reaction seems a little off, but she carefully closes the board lid. I notice Akira's smile beginning to look very strained. I wonder if she knows anything about what happened in class, given that she seems to be treading on eggshells around Hanako. I'll have to play you again sometime.
I'll make sure I play you first.
I'm gonna say it. Daw. How many times do I have to say it? That's right. How many times do I have to say it this route? That's adorable. She takes the doll she received from Lily and holds it to her chest together with the small chessboard, putting the piece on top. The act seems to settle her down somewhat, and we just sit in silence for a while. I think it's one of the few times I've seen her genuinely happy, cradling the friendship of two people to her chest as tightly as she can.
Thank you, Lily. Thank you, Hisao.
In the process of thanking us, Hanako drops the chess piece and fumbles a bit in a rush to retrieve it. Once she finds it, Hanako puts the chess set down and nervously gulps at her wine. It's as if the real world suddenly rushed back into her consciousness and her fastest escape from it was in a glass. Hey, easy there, you shouldn't drink it that fast. Not like Akira. It is a party, Hisao. Despite saying this, there is a slightly concerned edge to her voice. Eventually acquiescing, Lily proceeds to follow Hanako's lead, though not as eagerly. She looks to be taking small sips from her glass and letting the wine settle on her tongue before swallowing. I decide that's probably the best approach and do the same myself. Since this is kind of a going away party for you as well, I hope you enjoy your trip at least a little, Lily. Hopefully your aunt will be okay.
I hope your aunt is okay too, Lily.
Lily and I are slightly taken aback by Hanako's fervor to wish Lily well, despite her own familial situation. I'm a little impressed.
My. Thank you both. I'll be sure to convey your thoughts to my family when I meet them.
It'll be all fine in the end, Lily. Don't worry about it. Forget about it. Since Room's mood has become noticeably more sullen, I decided to try and move things along. Well then, shall we start on the cake? My tentative suggestion has the intended effect, everyone lighting up considerably. They all switched their happy sprites.
Yes, please. Cake? I didn't know there was any cake.
I picked one up before I came, along with some snacks.
Well done, Hisao. At least one of us remembered to bring one.
Everyone seems to welcome the distraction, so I retrieve the cake from my bag and start cutting it up. Mixing wine and chocolate cake isn't something that I thought would work well, but none of us seem to mind. Conversation is temporarily suspended as we start to eat. I was initially wary of this idea. After Hanako's panic attack, I expected the worst from tonight, but I think Lily's idea of giving her good memories of her birthday is working. That, and also having it shared with her going away party. From Hanako's reaction to her gifts, I can tell she was really appreciative. Hanako tries to pour herself another glass of wine, but ends up spilling some on the table. She's had a couple by now, so considering that she's never had alcohol before, it's no wonder if she's feeling a bit lightheaded.
Sorry, Lily, I didn't mean to make a mess.
Don't worry, I've got it. Lily reaches sideways and gently takes the fussing Hanako in her arms, giving me pause.
It's okay, Hanako. I'm just happy you're here.
Hanako gives only a faint nod in response. It's fitting, I suppose, that Lily would be the one to support her like this. I have no idea what Hanako would be like if she hadn't. Seeing the two like this makes me appreciate the fact that I'm privy to such an intimate moment. Even Akira can't help but smile at the sight. I never would have thought I'd manage to find new friends so quickly, and am all the more thankful that of all people, these two are the two I've befriended. They slowly break off from one another, Hanako regaining herself somewhat while I quickly get myself back on task. Wipe it down. Find a towel among Lily's tea set and start mopping up the spillage. By the time I finish, however, Hanako and Lily have managed to uncork the other bottle and have topped off their glasses. Looks like you're enjoying the wine then. Just don't go too crazy with it after this, mind. We all dutifully nod and agree, but her reminder feels a bit silly given that she's the one supplying underage people with alcohol. Oh no, the silly, goofy music is playing. We're up to hijinks. The second glass of wine goes down a lot quicker than the first, and before any of us notice, the second bottle is empty. While Akira is helping us finish them off, Hanako looks to be almost equaling her in the amount she's had. My head feels a little light, but I think I managed to gauge my own tolerance surprisingly well. Hanako smiles lazily, toying with her doll's hair. I think it's a pretty safe bet that she, hasn't moderated herself as well as I. I don't think it was Hanako's intention to get this drunk, but it seems that the alcohol hit her all at once. She has a very light frame, something which wouldn't help her handle her booze well either. Lily cradles her glass, running a finger around the rim. Her cheeks are rosy, but she's managing to avoid looking woefully drunk. Akira is, as I somewhat expected, largely unaffected. Her smile may be a little wider than before, though. Maybe. Hanako suddenly hiccups and accidentally knocks over the doll.
I think I should maybe go to bed. Thank you, Hisao. Thanks, Lily, and, Kira.
She slurs Akira's name pretty hard, barely avoiding breaking out into a giggle midway through. She's completely plastered. I can't decide whether I should feel a little bad or not for being amused at the state she's in. It really is bizarre to see her acting so carefree. A shame that it's only with the help of alcohol. Here, let me give you a hand. Akira begins to get up to help Hanako out, but she's stopped when Lily gives a sharp cough.
Hisao, would you please?
Akira looks a little surprised, and I have to admit that I am as well. I don't mind the request at all, let alone when it's said with such a smile, but it just comes rather unexpectedly. Sure, no problem. I pick up the chess set and help Hanako stand up. I do feel somewhat responsible for considering that, other than Akira, I'm probably the most sober person in the room. She nurses the doll in one hand and offers me the other. Back to the monochrome. We stumble out of the door into the hallway and into Hanako's room, Hanako bumping into me a number of times on the way. She's fucked up. Inside the room, I flick on the light as Hanako turns her attention towards the shelf in her dresser. An elegant doll is sitting on it, staring into the bare room.
There you go. You'll be safe in here.
I can't do like a hiccup. Like I can't like make like a fake hiccup voice. Like I can't make like a fake hiccup sound. It's like I can't do it. Hanako gingerly places the doll next to the other one and straightens its dress.
They sit in silence, hair and clothes perfectly arranged. Just like the teapot in Lily's room, they serve as a distinct contrast to the dull whites and grays that permeate her bedroom. Satisfied that her dolls, her only two real possessions, are safe, Hanako takes a step back and stands up, staggering severely. I step forward to catch her if need be, but she regains her balance without my help. Also, what do you mean her only two real possessions? Look at all this stuff in the background. She owns that. For a while, both of us stand in silence as Hanako looks downward towards the cupboard. After a minute or two, she begins to sway a little from side to side. It's very off-putting. Are you gonna be alright? Hanako raises her head and turns around to me as if she's only just remembered that I'm also in the room. What's unexpected is that she takes 2 steps towards me and wraps her arms around my body, her head coming to rest against my chest. Cute. I can feel my heart beating as all my senses feel like they're coming alive again after their deadening through the previous drinking. The smell of wine on her breath, the feeling of her fingers through my clothing, the scent of her hair underneath my chin, again, very strong shampoo. My hands remain out in front of me, not daring to touch her. The temptation is there to hug her, to embrace her, to tell her everything will be fine, but this feels wrong. Really, really wrong. Hanako?
But I want to stay with you and Lily.
Hanako's slurring reminds me of Amisha. She probably wouldn't be pleased to hear that. You know I can't. Yeah, you're a girl and I'm a guy after all, and Lily needs to sleep. She gives a disappointed groan. I love this sprite. It's so strange for her to act so forward. It's the booze. Don't worry, I'll see you again tomorrow, okay? I decide to rest a hand on her head to reassure her, deciding that this is as far as I'll allow myself to go in terms of physical contact with her while she's in this state. Good man, Isao, good man. Hanako's head nuzzles against my chest. It makes me feel all the more uneasy with the situation, and as her arms tighten around my back, I quickly decide to bail out. Get the hell out of there. I rest my hands on her shoulders and give a firm but gentle push. Her grip tightens a little as I do so, but she eventually breaks off.
I don't want you to go.
Hanako, please. Akira and Lily are gonna start thinking weird stuff if I take too long here. It's perfectly true, too. I really don't want to take any chances, and I feel very uncomfortable right now. I shouldn't try to read anything into the way she's acting right now. I've read that aside from alcohol-lowering inhibitions, people can react to getting drunk in many different ways that don't necessarily reflect reality. And even without that, there are plenty of ways to interpret what she's saying. As long as she's safe, I'm gonna try and get out of her room as soon as possible. Hanako hiccups again, looking a right mess as she stands and looks downcast in the center of the room. Her personality changed as she drank more and more, and now, alone in her room with me, her previous brightness seems to have left her. Was she just acting upbeat to make sure we didn't worry? Even if she was, what could I possibly do for her since I do exactly the same thing in regards to my own condition? Distancing myself from my thoughts, I eventually managed to corral Hanako towards her bed, though her attempts to tame the wild sheets on it end up accomplishing little. Sorry about tonight, Hanako. I know you probably won't remember any of this, but happy birthday. I'm sorry I couldn't do more for you. She looks up at me for a moment. I have no idea if what I said actually got through to her, but any chance to ask is lost as her eyes peacefully close. I sigh in relief before quietly backing away from her and leaving the room, flicking the light switch off as I go. I hesitate a little before opening the door to Lily's room again, quickly rehearsing what I should say if I get questioned about Hanako. After a few seconds, I still can't come up with anything. I open the door and make sure to close it behind me, lest any passing students catch a glimpse of the wine, before turning my attention to the 2 girls at the low table. Akira is casually smiling, as is Lily. I welcome the change from the mood in Hanako's room. Is that you, Isao? No, it's somebody else. I just caught you with wine. Yeah, I got Hanako to her bed. She's sleeping now. That's good. I have to admit, I hadn't thought that she'd drink quite so much. Hey, it's fine. She's all safe and tucked up in bed now, with the way she is. She awkwardly trails off, though Lily and I would hardly protest. For someone so anxious and fearful, drinking would give an easy out from those constant feelings. Ugh. I wish I could do more for her. I feel useless. How many times have you said that at this point, Isao? Looking at Lily, I think back to what I asked myself in town. My relationship with her is that of a friend and has only ever felt that way, but now I think I know why. Lily's been there for both Hanako and me since I first met her, but she's like that for everyone, trying to do her best to make them feel better. With that in mind, then what's the bond between me and Hanako? After rescuing a relationship following the panic attack I inadvertently triggered during class, I feel like we're back to being friends, but she's on my mind more and more. I can't say I view any other girl in quite the same way, but maybe it's just a normal reaction to someone acting like this. Say, Akira? She yawns before looking at me. It is getting pretty late.
Hey, same here. You know about what happened with Hanako, don't you?
Yeah, Lily told me. I negotiated pretty hard for a break so I'd come down and help her make her birthday a bit brighter. We get along pretty well.
It's surprising to hear that from someone as extroverted as her, but if Hanako came to know her through Lily, maybe she got time to get used to Akira.
And on that note, I'd better get going. I'm already gonna be a bit late as is. But it's already so late.
Sorry, we got a bunch of work jobs on us, so overtime it is. She levers herself up with a grunt and heads past me toward the door. Just before she leaves, she turns back toward us. You haven't forgot about the time for the flight and all the rest?
Don't worry, I have everything ready. It's just a matter of packing when it gets closer to the time to leave.
Atta girl. I'll see you guys later then. And with that, she disappears through the door with her hand held high in farewell. Your sister is something, alright. I probably should have thought that coming through before saying it. Regardless, Lily seems quite amused at my appraisal. You okay after all that drinking? Not wasted and just hiding it well?
I assure you, I'm quite alright. I can moderate myself. You seem quite self-possessed as well, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, well, I guess your moderation applies to me as well. With a little hesitation, I take a seat at the table in front of Lily. I want to address this directly, if for no other reason to sit on my own thoughts. I've been meaning to ask this, but it took me a while to make up my mind. Do you have any idea about what triggered that panic attack? I gathered it was something to do with her birthday, but I don't know anything more. Even Akira was being really careful around her, so I assume she knows as well. Lily's smile drops, the gaiety of the birthday party now well and truly over.
To be honest, I'm not sure of all the details myself. Hanako told you that she was in a house fire. She told me as much after we met and spent a lot of time together. Other than that, she quite simply never told me.
She never told you?
Assuming the worst, what does she have to look back upon? A life of isolation and possibly even the death of her family. Maybe even going as far as blaming her existence for their deaths.
Even thinking about what little I know of Hanako's past is bleak. To have lived through all that and to live on with those memories must be infinitely worse. Lily looks similarly depressed, but I can see her rebuild at least some of her composure before my eyes. I get the feeling that both of us are talking more frankly than we might otherwise do thanks to a wine, but it feels like just talking this out is the good thing anyway. I feel kind of helpless about it. When it's put like that, what can I possibly do for her?
I'm not wholly sure I should tell you this, but Hanako told me that you visited her the day after we both went to check on her. I must admit I did not predict she would take such a step so quickly after what happened, nor did I expect you to. I think it was a nice gesture on your part.
It wasn't much, really. It's just, at times like this, I sometimes think it would be better if we never had to leave Yamaku, or at least this town. Things are so much easier without others around. I didn't expect Lily to look quite so troubled at what I say, and for a while she looks lost in thought. She moves to speak, but stops herself as soon as she does and rethinks. It's a bit off-putting.
Tell me, do you have anything planned for Friday evening?
Friday evening? No. Isn't your flight to Scotland the next day? I don't think it would be a good idea to tie yourself out before you even get there.
I'll be alright, you needn't worry about me. I do this tomorrow evening, but I imagine Hanako will be feeling rather off for a while.
The thought of how she's going to be tomorrow makes me grimace. Maybe we should count our blessings that she didn't end up simply throwing up from drinking so much while having such a low tolerance. Well, I'm going to be able to attend whatever you're planning. What is it?
Nothing unusual, I assure you. Just a little excursion. And you'd better be off, Hisao. I can't imagine it's long at all until curfew is here.
Oh damn, curfew, I'd completely forgotten. I look at the clock next to Lily's bed, but it seems to be some oddity without written numerals, which I suppose makes sense given Lily's condition. Not wanting to risk a haughty security patrol giving me a scolding, I get up and decide to go to my dorm, she says. Well then, I guess I'll see you and Hanako tomorrow, assuming that both of you manage to get up in the morning.
Thank you for your concern, Hisao. Until then.
With that, I make my way out of her door and into the hallway. I hope her idea will be a good one. That was a really nice episode / chapter / segment. I don't know what to call them. But anyway, that's all the time I have. Okay, that's very loud hammering. But that's all the time I have for today. As Akira said, it is getting late. So that was great, and I don't know how many times I have to say this, but adorable. And yeah, not much else to say other than I'm looking forward to whatever happens next. I'll see you then. Peace.